Hey guys, welcome back. DMAC Customs on YouTube. Garage. Dave here. The bomb truck still keeps running really hot. So today I've got a possible solution that I want to try, which again means draining the coolant, but we'll get to that in a minute. And there's a couple other little things I want to do while we're here before we get it, so we can kind of run it a little bit longer. So let's get at it. Okay, so in the last few videos you've seen me get the old bomb truck kind of running in its own steam again, which was exciting, but it kept running, like getting really scary, like head cracking, gasket blowing hot, and then cooling down and heating up and cooling down. And obviously that was a bit of a puzzle, but I was talking to Carl from Bunney's garage, check it out on the YouTube, and he goes, "Did you ever look at that water pump?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, it was just a standard water pump," which it is, but this one down here. But it got me thinking, and something I noticed when I was putting the water pump on and I was cleaning threads and stuff, that the bypass hole on this block isn't drilled. And apparently, after some Googling and reading some stuff on forums, apparently means gossip, some of them aren't drilled. And this block, according to the numbers, is potentially out of a school bus or a truck. But likely to be a school bus, according to the block numbers and the heads and numbers and stuff like that. And some of them, for whatever reason, weren't necessarily drilled, and they just ran a bypass from that top hole there to over on the manifold, which is what I'm gonna try. So I got some bits and pieces together during the week to set up that bypass and yeah, do that. But to do that, I got to I got to drain all the coolant and stuff like that again. But before I do any of that, I want to try and figure out a way to tie back my HT leads so they don't lean on the exhaust, because I don't want to melt my new HT leads. And I got header wrap on those down tubes anyway, but I still want to tie them back so they're out of the way. When I was laying underneath it the other week, I was looking up there and there's sort of, you know, they're just kind of resting on there, which I don't think is ideal. So again, with some Googling and stuff, I kind of hopefully have devised a plan to be able to kind of like just tuck them back up against the block so they don't fall down onto the exhaust. Hopefully. This has been all in my head during the week, not actually like looking at things, so hopefully it works. So now let's get at it. Okay, so we're back underneath the truck. This is what I'm talking about here with these leads that just want to kind of hang out down here. I want to get them pegged back away from this exhaust. Now I saw some pictures online which are quite interesting, where they were running the leads up under that mount, and that kind of holds them back, as well as a variety of different sort of clip systems and crap like that. But my leads are only just kind of long enough to get where they're going now. So I was thinking of, you know, if I could make something that kind of bolts off one of these little holes here and just kind of holds them back that way. It would probably work if I could get them to go up behind the mount, which would be kind of ideal, because it would just naturally hold them back. So I might give that a try before I set about cutting up bits of metal and welding stuff and things like that. See if I can get that number one lead to go up behind that mount. But I've got to come back up here to unplug it. So I'll try the number one, since that's going to be my longest one, and see whether I can get that to go up behind the mount with a boot on. Might not happen yet. Try again. Okay, back up under here. Where is it? Well, she might go. Oh, no, she's just gonna get jammed in there, I think. Out. Meanwhile, I get showered with fiberglass dust in my eyes again. Try. Oh no. Unless I took the boot off. Hang on. Okay, took the boot off. We'll try again. If that goes through there, will it reach? And it will reach, but it'll keep it off that thing. Maybe. We'll try to go put the boot back on. Okay, so it actually worked. They're pretty, oh, what do you call it? They're a little bit on the short side to be doing this, but it does work enough to keep them pinned back so they're not resting on there. So when and they're not hitting up there, you can see where that oil was leaking. Hopefully it stopped. There's still drip coming off there. Where's that bloody... Oh, it's still coming off that rocker cover. Ugh. What a pain. Okay, so that simpler fix than I was expecting, so that's a win. So I'll go ahead, do the other side, hopefully, and then we can get this back down on the ground and have a look at this bypass. Let's go. Sunny. Okay, so while I'm draining the radiator again and dropping the bolts all over the ground, this is the bypass I was talking about here. See, on the water pump, it's got a thermostat bypass there, you know. And on the block, that meets up with that hole there, you see. Where does it go? There, through there. Seems to have a passage through there. And on the this block here, now I'm not 100% certain, but when I was putting it together and I was cleaning out the threads and stuff, I kind of poked the screwdriver in there and had to poke around, and it was really shallow, like it hadn't been drilled out. And I was thinking, sweet, one less place for it to leak. But ultimately it creates problems like this without some kind of bypass. And I've got I've got fiberglass in my eyes. Not running a heater on this, so the heater sometimes works as a thermostat bypass. Some people drill extra holes in the thermostat to help stop getting air pockets and to keep a little bit of coolant flowing at all times, but not as much as if you had no thermostat in there at all, if that makes sense. So yeah, so my plan is to, you know, do some stuff with some fittings and some hose and make a bypass. So we'll get into that, and hopefully that sorts that hot cold thing that's going on. Otherwise I'm a bit stumped. Alright, start undoing this. Trying not to break a knuckle. Oh god, that's tight. Hang on. Oh, yeah, it doesn't really want to sit on there very well. I might have to try a big adjustable spanner or something on it. Is that going to even turn? Oh, crikey. Might have to rethink this. Oh, crikey. Here we go. Oh, I think I pulled something. It's been in there for a minute. Just like that. Okay, so got my handy dandy liquid Permatex out again. This is rated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'll give it a crack. I know, you know, the school of thought is you don't need anything on NTP fittings and stuff, but just looking down inside that, the threads there on that water pump housing, she's a bit kind of gritty and a bit gross, so you know, corroded and pitted and things like that. So I just want to kind of give it a little bit of extra, if you know what I'm saying. And this is my new favourite toy. So apparently we have to let this sit for a couple minutes, and then we'll screw that in. Meanwhile, I'll take the other plug out. Disconnect my switch. Actually, I might just cover that up for a minute. Just hook that over there. Oh, here we go. Straight away, nothing wants to fit. I wonder if I've got a long socket. I do. Here we go. One of them. Okay, so got all my. This is an ear fitting, all right. So don't judge, but it should work. Thread size is the same, so I'm making this big ugly T that's going to go into the manifold, and then we're going to have our bypass hose coming out the side, and then we'll have our sensor going in the top. So I'll start off with putting this in, and yeah, then we'll put the other pieces in. I'll need to put this in first, I think, so I can turn it by itself. Before I do that, I've got to do this. Since I'm doing it on the other one, I might as well do it on all of them, eh? A little bit on there. And there, my other one of these. Oh, so. Just like that. So give all these a couple of minutes. Actually, I can probably put that first one in now. This one. Alright. Uh-oh. I've got the right thread. Yes. Yes, I have. Right. Nope. Hopefully that'll do us. And wind this in here, hopefully. Oh. Oh, is it hitting? It is. Force it past. This is not ideal if it wants to stop screwing in right there. Uh-oh. Come on, another bit more of a turn, please. Pretty please. Sorry about all the grunting. Oh, I think I strained something. That'll do us. This one's going to go in here. do us. And my fan sensor back in here. Hopefully my wires are still long enough. Shut up, bird. Like that. Put that back in. Oh yeah, heaps of wire. I just stand up about 4 miles off the top of the intake now, Joyce. Alrighty, so I bought this piece of heater hose from Super Cheap Auto here in New Zealand, and I bought just this particular one because it's got a 90-degree kind of elbow in it, and I figured I was going to need something like that. But obviously I'll have a bit left over unless I want to loop it around like that. So like you make like heater hose animals. That's a snake with a bent tail and a coil. Cut it down, cut a hunk off it roughly, just get some of the excess out of the way so I can get a true sizing. Just use this tin snips. Yep, cutting clean. Yep. Okay. It's alright. I'm going to get a white pencil so I can mark this and cut it properly. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so that's my plan there, you see. So if I put that on there, actually that 90 can pretty much, I was going to trim a bit off. I might still trim just a touch off of here and then take that down to about there. Does that look about right? We'll try that. When I say properly, I still mean with my tin snips, but just with a proper pencil and mark it like professional. Uh-oh. Maybe I should use a knife. Just like that. Yeah, trim up these little fluffy bits. There's my little approved. Right, bought some clamps. They're in child-proof packaging, so I'm just going to have to get my gas axe out and get into these, all my tin snips. Just about had a heart attack. Crikey. Alright, screwdriver. Right, put this on. Hopefully it works. Ah, she's actually still too long. Yeah, so I need to cut a bit more off that actually. I should have trial fit that before with my pencil. Hang on, stick that right on that end. Oh, it's well too long. What was I thinking, man? Yeah, got it off there, reckon? Yeah, that should be alright, hopefully. Take 2. Chuck that on there. Chuck that on there. Oh god, she's actually a little short now, but she'll be alright. Get this up onto here. Did get a bit stingy on the size of these clamps actually. Hopefully they're going to be alright. They're a bit on the small side. Oh yeah, she's going. Yeah, just like that. And come around this side. Ease of access. a little bit much off that. It's still on the snout though. Okay, so that's my bypass plumbed in, so you know, hopefully it works, and my switch back in place for my fans. Yeah, so the big question now is, will it work or make any difference whatsoever? Refill the coolant again, and we'll find out. On other news, I contacted the seller that I bought that off on Trade Me and said, you know, it did this, it started working, then it just stopped, rah rah rah. And they said, can you take a little video of the problem, and rah rah. So I came out the other night, hooked it up, started the truck up, and it worked. So I don't know whether what's going on there, but it's working again. Well, it was the other night, so we'll give it a try again later on and see where our timing is all in on the old mystery motor at the moment. And yeah, but we'll get some coolant in this thing and fire it up and see what happens. Alright, keys, cold start, let's see how it goes. I'll give it a couple of little jumps there. Pressure's real slow to come up on this. Super well, this motor, probably just enough compression to fire, but maybe not much more than that, I don't know. And the rattle's starting to come up. Can't see what the oil pressure's doing. Pressure's up to about 20. This will be the one I'll be interested in though today, just to see what's going on with that. And hopefully we'll get that timing light back on there and have a look and see what that's doing, you know? Know what I'm saying? Okay, temp's sitting on 180 and it seems to be pretty static for a while now. Oh, 185 I should say. Oil pressure is sitting on about 25, which seems to be about normal for this, I guess. But the temp's not doing any spiking and coming and going. What it is doing seems to be kind of a lot slower and more progressive. Fans should kick on sometime soon. Can't remember, I think they're 190 on the switch. Not on yet. See if these fans come on by themselves, but I need it to be 190 coming past that sensor which is on the top of the intake manifold, so we'll see, you know. It's creeping up to 200, seems to be holding steady. It's definitely much more, you know, it's slower doing whatever it's doing. You know, if it comes up past 200 then we might still be in kind of shit street, but she's definitely not going up, spiking, coming back like she was the other day. Still no fans, but it's holding at 190 at the head, so it might not even be getting anywhere near 190. Definitely a bit bluey. Smells more rich than burning oil though, so on that note, I've got something to show you in a minute. The rattle's still definitely rattling. What's the temp doing? Man, she's just holding it. Hang on. Oh, it's up to 200 now, so she's sitting on 200. So where's my fans at? I would have thought they would have been on by now. Tricking it, but they're on, so let's see what it does. And they've just switched off again. Now the temperature's dropping. Belt. Fans just came on their own. She's up to 210. And now dropping. Oh, okay. At this point, I definitely think it's behaving a bit more normally, but proof in the pudding is going to be taking it for a little drive, you know, which I might do after lunch. I'm going to go and have some lunch, but I've got some stuff that I need to show you. Because I bought some stuff. Maybe. Well, I bought some stuff, but whether it ends up anywhere near this, I don't know yet. But it's like second hand. Let's have it. I'll show you. So, picked up this thing here, which is a... Oh, she's a bit smoky in here. Which is a 650 Edelbrock. I think it must be vacuum secondaries. I don't really, sorry, Holly. It's a Holly, it's a 650 Holly. According to the numbers, spread bore. I don't know nothing much about carburetors. I've had Edelbrocks, used Edelbrocks for probably the last kind of 15 years. I have had Hollies before. I've never really looked inside them, how they work, but here we have one. I wanted a smaller carb for this stock 350, and it came with that manifold, and which is a Holly Street Dominator. She's had a little bit of welding done on there, but yeah, I don't know much about either. The guy had it on a 350 Chev years ago. It's been sitting on the shelf ever since, so it probably needs a kit or going through or something like that, but you know, for the sake of 4 bolts and a few lines, and you know, farting around figuring out what everything is. This is a choke mechanism. It's a manual choke by the looks of things. I don't know what that port's for. I don't know which is which down here. That's going to be my PCV. It's got another port over the back. To do some research on on the Holly stuff, maybe download a manual or something off the interweb and find out what all those things are for before I go trying to hook it up. But the other thing I got was a set of Edelbrock rocker covers, big tall buggers. These things here, the guy had them listed as well, and I was kind of, I said to him, "Have you still got them?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "They're real tall." And he goes, "No, another $50, I'll throw them in." So now I've got a set of Edelbrock rocker covers. So I don't really know what. So they're even taller than those Chevrolet ones. So I don't know why they make them so tall, even with roller rockers and all that kind of crap in there. I guess maybe there's some instances where you need really huge ones, but yeah, for an extra $50 I kind of couldn't say no, even if they just go on the wall, you know. So they might actually help with my oil leaks. I find the aluminium ones tend to kind of hold the oil in a little bit better than steel pressed ones, you know what I'm saying? Like these ones, because now, after all that farting around last week, we've still got oil leaking out of this corner. What a pain. Upside, got all pressure. Downside, got all leaks. Hey guys, so test driving. Goes heaps better. I actually threw that timing light back on and got into sort of run it up to 34 degrees all in with the vacuum advance unhooked. It actually took quite a bit of turning on the old distributor to kind of get that, so I was well retarded. But it definitely goes heaps better with more timing in it. It doesn't seem to be like detonating, it's still rattling. I just noticed on the floor in the garage where kind of the condensation leaks out of the exhaust. It looked a little green, I have to say, so
caution, kept me just under 200 degrees at the lights. Little bit of detonation there, not too much though. Trying to decide whether there's a big cloud of smoke coming out the back. And off again. Okay, we're sitting on 60 mile an hour. Little bit of vibration still through the steering, but now I'll just come down under a little bit. Got a tiny little bit, but it's better than it was, I think. Maybe, possibly, I don't know, it's been so long. It feels like it's been forever since I've driven this any further than around the clock. Excuse me. Yelling. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Sitting on 60 mile an hour. Sitting on 190. Oil pressure is at 20. So we'll see what it does when we get back onto this, you know, slow part of road. The old 383 used to always heat up as I was on that last stretch getting to home. So I want to see what this does now. Definitely, that bypass has definitely helped. So we're back. Keeping the cow vent shut so I can smell the ambient smells that come through the gaps in the firewall and things like that. Just, you know, to try and get a better read on what's going on. Okay, so we're into a sort of 50 km/h section, just like 30 mile an hour of my journey home, which often the old 383 temperature used to start rising at this point. Good on the expressway, the airflow would keep the temps down, but coming this way she would start going up and down and up and down on the old gauge. this drive much more than the last one we had. You know, remember that one where the gauge was just freaking out and I was freaking out, and it was just this whole freaking out party of thinking I was going to grenade another engine, but definitely not as droney in here than the 383. Temp doing 200. Perfect. Perfectamundo. Speed camera. You dirty dog. Speed camera vans is such a one of those things. It's not about road safety, it's about revenue gathering. If it was about road safety, they would put big signs up saying speed cameras here, you know, and people would just drive slower. But they put them in their sneaky unmarked vans, and it's not about slowing people down, it's about punishing people and getting money out of them for something that's already done. It's not a, you know, they're not making people think, shit, I've got to check my speed, how fast am I going here? They're just hitting them with a fine. You know what I'm saying? It's my winch. Temp doing what? 190. Oh, it's looking good. See you at home. Have a look under the hood and see what kind of mess it's made.
Okay, so this is the little puddle, there's my knees, that I was talking about earlier. Now, one of my exhaust like joins doesn't seal up completely down the back of the truck somewhere, so it gets a bit of condensation in there, but this seems like a fair bit. I just grabbed me some tissues. I just want to see how green it is. It does look a bit green. Can't really smell coolant in it though, that's the only thing. Now, as a tester, I have got some coolant over here. This is the stuff I spilt the other day. There's my knees again. Got it on my nose. Can't really smell that coolant either. So I don't know whether that's coolant coming out of there or what. I'd expect it to be a bit carbony. Don't know. So if it is coolant, that means there's coolant getting into an exhaust port somehow and blowing back. But yeah, hopefully not. That pile over there was me just overfilling it last week. This pile here is the mystery stuff. I have been getting quite a lot of moisture coming out when I'm starting it up, which this time of year is not unusual. It does seem a little excessive. But yeah, overall test run, you know, test drive went good. I did, I don't know, probably 10 miles, 20 miles or something like that. I didn't actually measure it. Temp never got over 200, which is perfect. Rattle didn't go away. I opened up the cutouts on the way back. Now I don't think they want to shut properly, so it's kind of sounds worse. But we got oil everywhere. Check this out. Hopefully you can see it. See that, all that shiny stuff? That's not my flash painting. That, my friends, is oil, and I think a lot of it's actually coming from the distributor gasket. I'll have to see if I can crank that down a little bit, because it's still, you know, it's not super tight at the moment. I don't know whether some of that is coming from this sender down here, or the China wall, or what, but man, it's a pain. Like, it's getting everywhere and it just ends up running down onto the exhaust and making a mess. But other than that, everything seems to be holding water. Have a look underneath. No power steering fluid. Yes. Steering feels actually really quite good. Like it's a little bit on the light side now. A little bit twitchy feeling, but I don't know whether I'm overthinking it. But get this jammer in here, see if I can clamp that down a bit more and hopefully seal that up. Ow, knuckles. They're awkward. Hopefully that'll do it. That oil's getting quite dirty quite quick too. I'll try and mop up as much of it as possible. There's some coming out of that. I wonder if I need to crank that down a little bit. Yeah. It's a dirty job if someone's gotta do it. Still getting it coming off this corner as well though, sadly. Hot, hot, hot. Hey, she's open. Okay, so fix one thing, break another. That exhaust cutout is stuck open for some reason. I really can't be bothered trying to look into that today, so I've got one open, one closed, and that's a pain in the ass because we replaced that one twice I think now. Could be no power to it. I have to check that, pardon me. Doesn't feel like stripped out gears, I can't move it by hand, so yeah, it might just be no power to it, so I have to investigate that, but not today. I've had enough. So yeah, here it is, sitting in the sun, covered in dust, leaking oil all over the driveway. Yep. Well guys, that's where I'm going to leave this video. The Bunney truck, probably going to be quite a short one in the edit. Like, I didn't really do a hell of a lot, but we fixed a problem and created another one. So it's not overheating anymore, not running super hot and doing all that high up and down stuff. It's running as it should, which is perfect. But now I've got one of the exhaust cutouts stuck open, still dealing with bloody oil leaks. It's still leaking from that rocker cover. Still maybe running a little rich with the 750 Edelbrock on there. Chewed through a fair amount of gas, mind you. I did quite a few hard accelerations and stuff, you know, trying to get it to sort of heat up, which it didn't. I'd be curious to see how much oil it's used, leaked and used, because it's blowing a heap of blue smoke out of here. Like if it's been idling for a bit, you give it a good blip, blow smoke. Just now when I brought it in, wow, it blew a lot of smoke, but doesn't seem to be blowing a lot of smoke when you kind of got your foot in it, which kind of maybe makes me think that it's not rings, but maybe a valve seal somewhere. So maybe in the next go round we'll pull the plugs from cold, see what they look like, and see which one's looking a little bit oily, and then see if we can diagnose that. What else? Got to fix that cutout. Oh, God, they're annoying. They're actually not worth the hassle, guys. Like, if you're gonna put cutouts on your vehicle, get some good ones. I cheaped out just for a change. Now I know it's not like me to cheap out on stuff, but I did. I cheaped out on my exhaust cutouts, and they have been haunting me ever since. They're rubbish. They're just cheap Chinese rubbish, and they break and they don't work well, and they chatter and they rattle. I really should just get my mate to cut me out some blank off plates and just take them out and blank that shit off. Yeah, so we had some wins and that little loss, well, a couple of little losses. The oil leaks doing my head, and I hate leaky engines, but we just have to keep chasing them down and trying new things, and see where we go from there. I don't know. Turn your wireless down, man. You hear that guy's radio? Jesus, be deaf. Yeah, so what else was I going to say before old Mr. Full Noise Talkback Radio drove past? Yeah, so we had some wins. It's not running hot anymore. That sorted out that overheating thing. Got a pretty good score on a carburetor and intake and some rocker covers. Maybe I'll try these rocker covers on here with these gaskets and see if I can get it to seal off. They're just so bloody tall. I don't really like the look of them that much either. Especially when there's just like standard rockers and stuff underneath, not like roller rockers and bloody girdles and all sorts of crap under there. It's just some little stock rockers hiding under there. But I don't know, if we end up taking the rocker covers back off again, we may look at trying them on there instead. Wouldn't mind trying that Holly on here now that it's kind of, I know it won't overheat and it's going. One thing at a time though. But yeah, and tucking those wires back. That means they're not going to get cooked on the exhaust. That's what we did today. Tucked the wires back and made it stop running hot. So it was a win. I don't really feel like rolling around on my back trying to test electrical connections on a stupid Chinesian exhaust cutouts today, so I've had enough. Gonna have a beer, maybe watch some YouTube, which is what everyone should do on a Saturday afternoon, evening. What time is it? Oh, afternoon, evening, yeah, but that's alright. So as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget we're on the Instagram and the Facebook under DMAC Customs, and right here on the YouTube, but you're here watching this if you're still watching this at this point. And yeah, take it easy until next time. Peace. Also, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. That would be awesome.